All right, let's talk about the absolute frenzy we're seeing in the stock market. Tech stocks are hitting record highs, and it all seems to be powered by this incredible excitement around artificial intelligence. But the big question is this a real revolution we're witnessing, or is it something else?
It really all starts with this one kind of crazy number, 23.6%. That's how much Intel stock jumped in a single day. Now, this wasn't just a good day for them, it was their best day in more than 20 years.
And that makes you stop and ask, right? How does a company that, let's be honest, many people had kind of written off, suddenly have its best day in over a quarter of a century? The answer, as it turns out, tells us way more about the market state of mind than it does about Intel.
So, to really get a handle on what's going on with Intel, we need to zoom out for a second. Because this isn't just one company's story. This is happening inside a market that is just absolutely on fire right now.
I mean, the whole market is just surging. You've got the S&P 500 hitting fresh record highs. The Nasdaq is at an all-time high. Both of them have been climbing for 4 straight weeks. And get this, the chip stock index has been on an incredible 18-day winning streak. The investor euphoria is just, you can feel it. Okay, so with that big picture in mind, let's zoom back in on Intel. Because right in the middle of all this market madness, the company became this perfect and kind of weird case study. Just let this sink in for a minute. The last time Intel hit a record high was way back in 2000, at the absolute peak of the dot-com bubble. Anytime something takes 26 years to happen again, you've got to take a much closer look. And what makes the surge so surprising is that for years, Intel has just seemed lost. It completely missed the boat on mobile chips for our smartphones. It fell way behind its competitors in actually manufacturing chips. And this is the big one. It basically just stood by and let NVIDIA become the undisputed king of AI data centers. So you have to ask, did Intel suddenly fix all of these deep, fundamental problems overnight? Well, the short answer is nope, not really. And right here, you can really see the huge disconnect. On one side, you have the reality. Intel is still a distant second to NVIDIA, and it's losing ground in cloud computing. Then you have the investor perception, a rocket ship. The stock surges, it has its best day in decades, a record valuation. The two stories, they just don't match up. And this is where we get to the real story behind the Intel news. This incredible moment, it wasn't really about a sudden turnaround at the company. No, it was about the psychology of the market itself. So what is that psychology? Well, it boils down to one of the most powerful emotions in investing, a collective, all-consuming fear. This quote just perfectly captures the mood right now. No one wants to be left behind in the world of AI. And that feeling applies to everyone, from the corporate CEOs spending billions to the investors who are chasing these stocks higher and higher. There's a term for this, and you've definitely heard it, FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's that anxious feeling that everyone else is getting in on the next big thing, and you're going to be left in the dust. And right now, AI is the ultimate next big thing. Now, whenever an entire market rally starts getting fueled by an emotion like FOMO instead of, just fundamentals, it naturally starts drawing comparisons to some very specific and maybe a little uncomfortable moments in financial history. This kind of super fast, emotional investing forces us to ask that difficult question, the one that's kind of on everyone's mind. Are we in a bubble? Some analysts are pointing straight to the charts and saying, look, whether you want to call it a bubble or not, the shape of this rally is what's known as parabolic, and that's just a fancy technical term for a price chart that goes almost straight up, which, historically, doesn't end very well. To dig a little deeper here, analysts often look beyond just profits. They use metrics like the price-to-sales ratio. It's actually pretty simple. It just compares a company's total stock market value to its annual revenue. And when that number gets really high, it can be a huge red flag. In fact, one investment group even created what it calls the Ludicrous list. To get on it, a company has to be trading at more than 10 times its annual sales, and its stock has to have at least doubled in the past year. Well, surprise, surprise, a lot of today's hot AI stocks are making the cut. And here's the historical data. If you had invested only in companies on that Ludicrous list over the past 30 years, your total return would be a measly 3%. Meanwhile, the broad stock market, it returned over 1,500%. It's just a stunning, stunning comparison. So here we are. We've got this AI frenzy. It's being driven by massive FOMO, and valuations are starting to raise some serious bubble warnings. Well, this whole dynamic is about to face its biggest test yet. This upcoming week is absolutely jam-packed with market-moving events. We have earnings reports coming from 5 of the biggest tech companies in the world. We've got the Federal Reserve making a decision on interest rates. And on top of that, we get a critical new report on inflation. It's all happening at once.
And the stakes here could not be higher. Those 5 tech giants reporting earnings, we're talking Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, and Apple, they make up a full quarter of the entire S&P 500's value. Their results are going to send massive ripples across the whole market.
So basically, this entire feel-good factor that's built up around AI, the story that's been pushing the market to record heights, it's about to have a very serious meeting with reality. We're going to see if these companies' results can actually justify the hype.
So here's the bottom line. The market is betting billions and billions of dollars that the future is AI. And this week, we're about to find out if that optimism is built on a solid foundation of real profits and game-changing technology, or if it's just a repeat of market manias from the past, built on hype and a fear of missing out. The answer is coming, and it's coming soon.